Hi guys, welcome to the Saturday night special with me, your host. As some of you may know, my studio building has been under construction for several weeks and it's been a little hard. Excuse me, my cat is at the door. So anyways, I'm home and I've been home for a little while, and I know you've never seen a vlog at my house before, but what I promised was a little special vlog about some of my sketchbooks. And as I'm just hanging out on a nice Saturday night next to my Kindle and a small glass, healthy amount of wine, I am going to go through some of these nice pages with you. Before I do that, I just want to say thanks to everyone who's been subscribing so far. It's really nice for you to stick by us through this learning process, and as we form our identities through Patreon, it's really nice to know we have supporters. I know that when my anchors get kind of pulled out from under me, like my studio practice, my daily work practice with Rose, who is my boss essentially, I start to lose my sense of worthiness. And when I'm by myself, I start to get triggered by some of these feelings, and I know I'm not alone in this. I think that's why we love routine and schedule and having something that gives us purpose, and it's something that I am struggling with the past couple of weeks, hence how late I've been on posting some of my things to Patreon, and that's what I've really heard a lot of the past few weeks. Rue, why don't you come say hi? Okay, well, I'll go get him. Here's a nice view of my tiny little kitchen. And Rue, why don't you just say hi to everybody? Say hi. I love my mom. You will hear Kevin and I talk about what our relationship is to sketchbooks in our next conversation. And here I'll be able to show you some of my sketchbooks that I have. And I think it's gonna be really fun to go through them again tonight. I have laying around, some are really old, like this one. I think this was from 2012. And this is a sketchbook that I started in college with a sketchbook class. So it really was intentional, and it was a class that I got to work on a page or two every single day. So everything from small drawings to color studies to small paintings, it's all in here. We have some just random sketches, which I love to see how I used to draw, how accurate things were. I have no idea what that was. And then some names of artists that I was looking into at the time. The only sketchbook that I've ever finished from start to finished all the way to the end. And don't freak out. Okay, this must have been the end of the semester. Let's see what's in this one. Oh, this one looks like something that I started when I was in Italy. So I have taped some of the flowers that I found in Italy. I remember going to the art store in Italy and finding this tiny tape, and I really liked it. For some reason, I was like, oh, I'll never find this in America. Yeah, little sketches from life. I didn't really use this one too much. I was kind of using other sketchbooks to paint in. So I just do these 5-minute sketches and took note of some of the things that I was doing. Collected some items. Basically, this is when I discovered Nikki de Saint Phal. I don't really know how to pronounce her name, but she's a French-American sculptor and painter and filmmaker, actually. She really has this monumental sculpture garden out in, I want to say this was Toscana, Italy. And she became a really huge icon for me. And I'll have to get into this a little bit more, but you should definitely look her up. She had a really difficult and traumatic childhood, and I just connected so much with some of these pieces. This is a reaction to, I just did a little reaction painting after I saw the show. I was really moved by it, and so I did some drawings for my weird little brain that is also beautiful and great. Don't really know what that is. Some aggressive pencil drawings and some, again, dried flowers. And yeah, I really loved these structures. This bell tower was really beautiful. I wanted to capture that. Anyways, just more Italy stuff, landscapes, 5-minute sketches, 5-minute paintings. Just trying to capture some of the colors. Oh, this is when I went to the Louvre and I was just doing some drawings of sculptures that I found so gorgeous and beautiful. Something I really liked in Paris, this is also from a Paris trip, is these beautiful mounds of flowers that were everywhere. It's really obviously taken by some of those things. And this is when I came back and freaked out about how do we do everything and can someone tell me? Okay, this is a bigger, larger moleskin that was also from Italy. Again, doing some, and yeah, I just did some set on landscapes, plein air work. All of the colors there were definitely of these soft yellows and pale greens, and I remember how dead everything looked, but then at the same time they looked really alive. I would take the shapes of the land and start to do these small drawings and paintings from them. And it rained while we were painting. I went with a friend of mine and we sat in a cute little spot, and it rained on us. Another fun thing that I use my sketchbooks for that maybe I don't mention in our conversation is that, just some color studies and different mixtures of pinks and how they were born. Keeping my brain sharp. I find a lot of sketches like this in many places. Always with a flower. It's interesting that I continue to do these even though I feel really far away from florals. I always tend to gravitate towards this like beautiful, tiny, dainty little sketch. Oh yeah, and then here are some folded sculpture ideas that I had this year. I'll get more into that later, but I basically started these sculptures and then I started doing these watercolors based on those, kind of these like 3-dimensional bulbous color studies. Then I did some with crayon. I really like using several different materials. And then with this really beautiful pink ballpoint pen, which I just loved drawing with. I love drawing with ballpoint pen. Anyone else does? Oh wow, looks like things got a little messy. Some charcoal. These are some watercolors with a 5-year-old. In this page was really fun because he made all these little sculptures with Play-Doh, and what I had to do was paint what he gave me. And this is a really big moleskin that looks like I started a while ago. See, there's like a chair, feet, cat, skateboard, hat, beer. Fun little gestural drawings. Some concepts for, I'm sure, some design work. Just some more landscape drawings. I really like these. This is from Halibut Point, 2017. Wow, these are really old. Here we have some concepts for sculptures. To go back to these at some point. These just look like canvas and with structures, and then I would pour some paint and let it sit. And still interested in that idea. And looks like some more sketches, a little bit of portraits here and there. And yeah, I think that's the end of that, unless there's more hidden. But I tend to start sketchbooks and then like during periods of time where I might be traveling or I'm at a residency, and that's where I have more time to spend in my sketchbook, and I find them really precious and valuable to my practice. I have this other sketchbook that I started when I was at a residency, and it's really interesting. The difference is, I know Kevin and I were talking about what we tend to do differently in sketchbooks, and here you'll see me playing with crayon. There's like one painting in here, and then the rest are just kind of these sketches of crayon, these colorful crayons that I found at the art store right down the road. I started doing these, you can't really see them, but I started doing these landscape crayon drawings of the dunes in Cape Cod, which is one of my favorite places. I do charcoal of the dunes as well. Really, this is just an image of a tree that I started. I see that Kevin is texting me right now, which is really cute. Here I did start to do some like realism with my student who I was teaching over quarantine, like how to draw eyes and mouths and nose and ears. I was like, damn, I can still draw. That's amazing. I'm just kind of thinking about how art is such an urgency to process our inner demons, our inner joy, our inner self. And I think that's what these sketchbooks are. I think they're, whenever we have this urgency to write, to sketch, to draw, to throw down color, to do anything we want in them and be able to close them back up and put them away. Now I'm gonna be focusing the rest of my night on Nikki de St. Phalle because I didn't forget. I love her work, and she really has a way of translating her emotions like fear and joy and hope and all of these things into painting. But then she also translated those things into sculpture and film, and she just didn't give a fuck about where she was putting her art and how she was translating it. It's so raw, it's so real, and I think I need to be looking at her work the rest of the night for myself and for my heart. Thank you so much for joining me on my sketchbook tour and creating problems, allowing them to grow and solving them, coming to terms with the physicality of the medium and what aspects remain. What is that word? Effortless and wild. Wow. Who was she? When I have something to react to. Anyways, thank you.